Hello again, welcome back. As usual, this is Becca, your coder kitty, going by Netcats Meow most places online, welcoming back my favorite coder cats and coder kittens for another week where we discuss Linden scripting language. Not much on the announcements front this week, just that tomorrow, from the point of view of the day this video airs, so Wednesday of the week this airs, you all should have access to the next episode of Coder Kitty Decodes LSL. Yay to that. And this week we will continue with this little alpha control box, as the original request was to have this controlled by a HUD. So we're going to go through and add the ability to remote trigger these commands we created. To do that, we're going to need a listen, which needs arguments integer channel, string what, which is the name of whatever it is that's making the communication, key who, which is the key of whatever is making the communication, and string message. Now, because we're going to be running this by a HUD, we want to immediately filter for if get owner key. So this would be to get the key of whoever owns the thing that is sending the message. So the key that is attached to who does not equal get owner return. What this specific line here will do is it will check, it'll take the key who, which is whatever sent the request or sent the command. It will find out who owns that. It will get the key of whoever owns that object. It will see if it does not equal get owner. Basically, is whoever owns the object talking to me the same as my owner? If not, return, which means stop processing and get out of this here. This is just a filter to catch whether or not the HUD unit actually belongs to the correct person. There are ways to make the HUD unit a little friendlier in that regard as well, but this will help filter out any of those. You will also need a listen command, which is going to, for testing purposes, we're going to set that to listen on channel 10. 2 quotation marks because we are not going to filter out anything by name. Null key because we're not going to filter out anything by key at this stage. And then any command. There are ways, if you expect to deal with a lot of traffic and a lot of information, there are ways to filter that down and make that run a little bit smoother. But this will do for our purposes for right now, just for getting the commands set up. Now we're going to establish the commands themselves, which are blend, none, mask, and emissive. So if message is exactly equal to blend, we'll run the blend command. Else if message is exactly equal to none, we run that command. Else if message is exactly equal, that is what the double equal signs means, is exactly equal to. There is not really a easy way to do is kind of, sort of, or might be. There are ways to do it, but they are not simple. And yes. All right. We are also, since we're starting to introduce more variability, personally I am a big favor of integer debug equals true. We're establishing a new variable as an integer. Its name is debug. Its value is true. So we go down here, if debug owner say message. What this will do right here is this is for debugging feedback. This is a way to keep track of what's going on under the hood in your script with things you wouldn't otherwise see by making it tell you what it's doing. And they're easy to turn off when you're ready to stop dealing with all that just by changing this to false. Because when it asks if debug, if you put it in that way, it is checking if debug is true. This is the same as saying if debug equals true. This is just a little bit simpler. A reason for putting this in here is if the message doesn't come through, if none of these commands trigger, if this doesn't respond, then we know that it either isn't coming through to the listen, or it's getting stopped there. So, let's go ahead and have a look there. Let's do /10 test. The object responds test. So that means our commands are getting through. But that wasn't one of our established commands, so it's not going to do anything with that. It doesn't have a thing to do. But if we type /10 blend, let's take a look back at that again, the blend command. The blend command only affects one side, and that was for demonstration purposes, but we can change that back to all sides. So let's do /10 none /10 blend. Bingo. With these commands, we're successfully switching modes. So, in order for this to work as a HUD device, you'd have to have another object that is proceeding to send those messages. So, let us make this just a simple demonstration, and then we'll go through and add more functionality and more security in next week's video. So, integer blend equals false. If blend equals false, say 10, work with me, none, return. Else, blend equals true, say channel 10, blend, return. This has turned this into a simple toggle switch for the alpha control here. Next week, we will go into securing how to make this communication from your HUD device to here a little more secure. Then we're going to go into, well, it's secure enough, but how to make it a little simpler on the system. Make it so that it will only send to the correct objects. And so that this will only listen, it will filter out before it even gets to processing keys and commands and all that. We'll get a little more of that in place. we'll also go ahead and look into things like how to split the commands from controlling which face or which link number that you want to manipulate the alpha on as a separate part of one larger command. So we'll start getting all that set up on next week's episode. Until then, I don't really have much in the way of news or announcements this time, so I guess that's it for now. These videos will air every Tuesday by noon Eastern Standard Time. The Coder Kitty Decoded series will have a new episode Wednesdays by noon Eastern Standard Time. So I guess I'll just go ahead and see you all wonderful Coder Cats and Coder Kittens next week. Until then, this has been Becca of Coder Kitty's Workshop. That's how I should say that. Becca of Coder Kitty's Workshop. Good day, good luck, good week. Happy coding. Meow meow.